They're not opposed to it, but they want to make sure they're sharing that information with them before they move forward. Is there an appropriate place to collect a deposit in my type of business?
This is how you fix it from the root cause. If you have a pattern of partner,
That question seems redundant. I don't know that I really need to ask it. They might want the support of their spouse, partner.
but the way you do that is in the training is you need to ask the 3 responsibilities. You need to get clarity. The most important thing when they give you a partner objection is that you...
Okay, it's related to deposits. Talking with my setter the other day, and we were having this belief argument about whether the deposit's necessary for people to actually follow through. I don't find that that's been true for me. If I look at the 10 clients that I'm working with right now, 8 of them did not pay on the call. They paid after or with a link. But I'm wondering in my business where trust, relationship building, and all of that stuff is involved, and when people have a partner objection, especially when that objection is really that they want to have that conversation with their partner, that they're not opposed to it, but they want to make sure they're sharing that information with them before they move forward. Is there an appropriate place to collect a deposit in my type of business?
Of course, always. Yeah, 100%. Because at the end of the day, a partner objection, if you're talking about a logistical partner objection, a logistical one where it's like, yeah, I truly cannot make any single move, or he or she doesn't approve this, it's not happening, right? First of all, those are the easiest ones to take care of, because once you're in a type of offer where you can see that is a pattern, you just always put a mechanism in your process to always pre-handle that, either in the form or at the beginning of the discovery. You just talk about it because you know it's part of pattern in your calls. And then you just simply do not present until you have the partner on the call.
I've never actually gotten partners on the call.
Okay.
Should that be part of my process? I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out how.
This is how you fix it from the root cause. If you have a pattern of partner objections, if you tell me, honestly, Paolo, out of 10 calls, only 1 is a partner objection, then just don't change anything. But if you tell me 4 out of 10, they give me I need to speak with my partner, and I let them speak with a partner, for example, now that is a huge chunk. So then I would call that objection out very early, or even in the form that they fill out, to make sure both parties are in the call. And if I don't put it in the form and I just catch it on the call early in discovery, I'm just simply going to reschedule. As soon as I notice that, I'm going to reschedule with the partner so that both sides are there, and then I know we can close the deal if everything aligns. Now, if it's 1 out of 10, then I wouldn't change anything. And then for the instances where it just comes out, that pattern is typically fear. In general, it's typically fear because it came out of the blue. They never talked about it. Now they're talking now. Typically, it's a defensive mechanism. Then for those small situations where it's not fear, and for whatever reason, it just came out of the blue, even if it's true, even if he doesn't approve this, there's no way I can do this because he's going to finance it, for example. It's my decision. It's my responsibility, but he's going to finance it. You can still close a deposit. You can still do that, okay? But the most important thing when they give you a partner objection is that you first need to understand what type of a partner objection is. You need to understand if it's a logistical partner objection or a fear in disguise. And the way you do that is in the training is you need to ask the 3 responsibilities. You need to get clarity on the 3 points of responsibility. Who's going to do the work? Who's responsible for the outcome? And who's responsible for the investment? Because if they say, I have to speak with my partner. Okay, who's going to do this? Me. Okay, even if you do, it's not going to take place here. It's not going to help you with that. It's all you implementing. You're going to attend the coaching to go through a training, or he's going to do something. No, it's just me. Okay, you're going to do this.
That's the way that my work works.
Perfect.
So that question seems redundant. I don't know that I really need to ask it. They might want the support of their spouse, partner.
But important that you ask it so that you lead them to this path of realization that this change is their responsibility. Because at the end of the day, a partner objection is a form of expectation of responsibility. So that's why I would say, okay, who's going to implement this when it comes to the coaching? Who's going to do the work? Me. Okay. Who's responsible for the outcome? Because cases in all situations in life, the one that does the work is responsible for the outcome. Okay. For an example, the employee that manages the ads is not responsible for the outcome. It's responsible for doing the action, but the outcome is up to the CMO or the chief marketing officer.
Okay.
So who's responsible for the outcome? It's me. Okay. And when it comes to making an investment in something like this, who's responsible for the funding or where the funding is going to come from? And if the person says to you in this moment, no, it's my funds, yeah, then you know at that moment is fear. There's a single bit of responsibility on these three things, but in the person.
Right.
But if the person says, I'm going to do it, I'm responsible for the outcome, but it's not my money, or they say it's the money of the house, it's both of our money. If you calculate the amount of responsibility that goes to the person, still the person has the highest amount of responsibility. Because if we were to assign 33 points here, 33 points here, and 33 points here, okay, 33 points on who's going to implement it, has another 33 points on who's responsible for the outcome. And then out of these 33, let's just say it's 30 for easy math, it's half and half. So she has 15 points. So 33 plus 33, 66 plus 15, whatever, 80 something. So 80% or 90% of the decision needs to come from her. It's not going to come from anybody else, right? So when you get them to that point, you simply do a responsibility frame, right? Which is simply, okay, so when you think about this and you think about your goals and the things you want to accomplish, someone needs to take full responsibility for the actions that need to be taken, the decision that needs to be done. Who do you think that person is? Me, but I have to speak with my yeah, sure, no worries, but what do you think is you? Oh, because I'm going to do it, I'm going to da, 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 da. Okay, if you don't take that responsibility, who's going to do it?
Right.
Nobody's going to do it. Okay, so the question now becomes, right here, right now, are you willing and wanting to take that full responsibility or that 90% of responsibility? Because you don't have to. Yes, I do. Why is that though? Oh, because blah, 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 blah. Okay, so I totally respect that you want to speak with your partner. That's no problem at all. And then just continue with the flow. But right now, she
That
has...
where I interject the deposit. I'm trying to figure out how the deposit fits in after I do all of that and what an appropriate deposit would be on a $6,000 program.
It doesn't really matter. We typically go for 10% of the full investment, 10% or 5%. But the first thing I want you guys to do is just you assess the three responsibilities. If you see that the person is fully responsible, or on the vast majority, you go for a responsibility reframe, and then you go for the close. You just go for the close. You go, okay, so what do you feel you need to do right here, right now to reflect that level of responsibility and ensure that tomorrow when you wake up, you're one step closer to becoming the woman you deserve to become. And some cases they will go, yeah, but what if it doesn't work? And now the partner objection is behind. Now she's telling you, what if it doesn't work? Now it's a fear objection. You see, now it's behind. But if they bring it up again, yes, I understand, but I still need to speak with my partner, then you follow the frameworks. So that's one chance you have to close the deal there. But if not, you do this.
And then was that whiteboard that you shared before shareable?
What was that?
Was that this or the other whiteboard that you shared before something that you can share?
Yeah, I can share that. So we covered the three responsibilities here. That's going to give you the, hey, is the fear of logistics. If it's fear, you can go for the close. Responsibility reframe here, blah, 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 blah. But if they just bring it up again, then you just have to consequence them. You have to, okay, so what happens if you go to him and he says no? And you have to make them answer. You have to make them answer. And they might say, I'm not going to do it, or I'm going to do it regardless. And after they answer, you have to ask why. Always. Either or, you have to ask why. Okay? And if they say, if he says, no, I'm not going to do it, now you have to challenge them again, because now there's an abdication of responsibility. Typically, in most cases, they're going to say some form of, I'm going to find a way to do it. Even if he says, no, I'm going to find a way to do it, if they're truly committed, right? If they say, there's no way I can do anything, he rules my life, then now it's a dead end. We need that person. The mistake was, how come we didn't have the person in the call?
Right.
Now you just gotta book another call, right? Which doesn't mean that he's lost the deal, but you cannot close the deal right then and there. And the deposit at this point, not gonna make sense at that point. If truly the person is in a situation where really cannot make a decision, right? It's truly a logistical objection there. You can coach them a little bit, but this happens with minors as well. It's like, yeah, we need the parents, whatever.
Right.
But if they say, I'm going to do it regardless, I'm still going to find a way to do it, then we just follow this framework, okay? All right, that's it for this video. If you like it, smash the like button. It really helps the channel and also tells me that, hey, maybe I should do more of these videos. Number 2, share your biggest takeaway down in the comments below. Just one biggest takeaway that we'd love to know. I read all the comments. And number 3, if you have a request for a video or a specific challenge you're facing as a high-ticket closer or in your calls, share it down below or share it privately in my Instagram. I'm more than happy to have that in mind for future videos. I'll see you in the next one.